Hi, welcome to the Coffee Hour, a show that involves you in verbal interaction. Sports with Brian Camp. So settle in with coffee in hand and enjoy the Coffee Hour. Now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, here we are, another Friday, and we're coming to you live from New York because that's where we originate. And we're happy to have you along with us. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, another end of the week, and we're headed towards the weekend. We thank you so much for being along with us. The show is called the Coffee Hour, and we're going to be with you for a whole full hour. And during the hour, we're going to be doing a lot of things. We're going to get you involved in the show. A lot of you have been with us for so long, and of course, you have the opportunity all the time that we've been on the air to voice your opinion and be along with us each week. But there are a lot of people who are out there who want to get acquainted with the show. So this is what it's all about. I am the host. I get things started. And as I get things started, you can be involved in the conversation, all of you. All you have to do is use your keyboard on your computer, your telephone, or even your tablet and type in whatever you want to talk about. And we'll see you right there on the big screen and we'll acknowledge it because that's what it's all about. It's about exchanging opinions, of free opinions and ideas of opinions, right? And along with all of that, we invite you to invite your friends with us to get along with us. And we want you to get started right away. So saying all of that, we want to tell you also we come on 3 different places. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And any one of those 3 platforms, you can watch us all over the world. We're global. And anywhere in the world, as long as you have a good Wi-Fi and a good hotspot, you could always see us and all over the world. So tell your family and friends about it. Now, I also want to tell you that if you're watching us on Facebook, tag all of your friends, if not all of them, at least some of them, and let them know that we're out here as well and get them on part of the action. When you tag them, they'll see the tag that's coming from you. They know who you are, so they'll trust you and they'll click onto that tag and it brings them directly to us. So please, if you want to do that, if you could do that, the more the merrier, the merrier. And as long as they're out there and they like what they see, if they like what they hear, they'll come back again and again, just like you. And for those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I always encourage you to click onto our YouTube channel, get that YouTube channel going, right? And be part of us by subscribing to us. How do you do that? Okay, take your mouse, that's right there with you, drag it all over to where it says subscribe, place the arrow there, click onto it, and it's right there. There's no financial situations involved in it. You don't owe anything. It's all free. And the reason why we ask you to do that, because we want to see how many people are following us and we want to see how many members we have. Not only that, it gives you an opportunity to know that whenever we come on live or ever the site is being activated or for any reason, you'll get a chance to get that instant notification and let you know that something's going on. And let's say, for instance, next week, you have all intentions of watching the show, but then you forget about it, but you're online anyway, right? Well, that notification will pop right up just as a reminder, and all you have to do is click onto the notification. And of course, it brings you right to the YouTube channel, anywhere that we're broadcasting. So again, we thank you so much for being along with us. And those of you who are watching too, we already told you that you can tag your friends. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube and Instagram as well, you can do something similar as the people that do it on Facebook. They tag their friends. You can cut and paste our link, right? Wherever you are. If you're on Instagram, cut and paste it, our link. If you're on YouTube, cut and paste the link. And of course, you can send it to your friends and they'll see that link coming from you. And if they click onto that link, it brings them right to wherever you have tagged them. So that's a form of tagging too, right? So please do that. We want all of the people to get in there. Tell your family and friends about it. Keep them abreast of everything that's going on. And let's have a good time. On the show today, we have a few things, as we always do. We have our normal routines going along. Of course, later on in the program, we're going to have sports. Brian Camp with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He brings that to you. I don't believe he's going to be here today, so we're going to handle everything that he sent us. And we'll have that coming along later on in the program. Also, later on in the program, we have those movies that you enjoy so much, right? Those movies that I have, my picks of the week coming from Turner Classic Movies, right? And I, of course, research that each week and pick out the ones that I think that you'll like, and we bring them to you because the weekend is coming up, and some of you be doing a lot of things on the weekends, sure. And one of the things that you may want to do is catch up on some movies that you haven't seen in a while, because a lot of people are doing that today. We have the streaming, we have cable still, and I have my picks of the week for to add on to your bucket list of what to watch if you desire to watch some old movies right during the week. We have all of that coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, remember that all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, The Coffee Hour, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or any other social media outlet or broadcast facility. So that being said, let's do what we normally do. Let's raise our cups, our glasses with our beverage in it. And because what would the coffee hour be without a little coffee? So excuse me while I shoot up. A little iced coffee today. We're breaking the heat wave here in New York. That's what we had. We had a couple of days of intensive heat. So a lot of things that we normally do, we want to put aside and we want to stay cool because we don't want to hurt ourselves. That heat wave killed a lot of people, you know, up and down the east and west coast. And depending on where you are, it can be so intense that it's unbearable. Let's say, for instance, if you're living like in desert land or something like that, in Arizona or Nevada, someplace like that, or California, where there's a lot of desert, of course, you don't get humidity, there's no water there. But if you're living in a place like where we are in New York and other places that's surrounded by water, of course, you know, that adds on to the humidity. And that's exactly what we got for the past few days. But I think it's starting to break. We're going to be getting some rain in the forecast for New York. I'm going to tell you more about that later. So that being said, also, if all of you want to join us in conversation, and I hope you do, I would love to have you come aboard with us so we could say hi to each other and just talk to each other. If you decide to do that, please give us your weather forecast. That's something I always ask people to do, right? I don't always ask you to do that. Give us your weather forecast and let us know, because I like to compare notes on the weather that you have over where you are and the weather that we have where we are. And we just like to do that. Now, that's something that's not mandatory, but we always ask you to do that. And if you'd be so kind to do that, we'll be prepared. I'd love to do that. So come on in and join us and enjoy the conversation. Now, a lot of people who may be at work right now, right? And if you're in a particular time zone where you're in the work hours, you could be on your coffee break at this particular point. So what we want you to do is, sure, take your coffee break. But you know what we'd like you to do? Take your coffee break at your computer. Right? You got that 15 or 20-minute break that they give you. You take that at your computer and watch us and enjoy coffee with us. And when that 15 or 20 minutes is over, of course, you can go back to work. But then again, you'll already be at your desk, right? And all you have to do is go back to work. So you can do what they call multitasking, right? You can enjoy the show at the same time and work at the same time. A lot of people do that. A lot of smart people. And you're one of the smart people that do that. And those of you who are hanging around the water cooler talking about what happened last night, you know, go back to your desk and watch us. I really appreciate that. So we appreciate that all that you do. I want to say good morning to all of you guys who are joining us right now. I see Lisa is out there. Lisa Thorpe, good morning to you. Coming out of Ohio. Thank you so much for being along with us. And thank the rest of you. Pretty soon more people will come in and we'll say hello to them. And a lot of you people may just want to sit back and relax and just enjoy the show without any part of it being part of the conversation or anything. But we really appreciate it, because I would love to get out there and talk to you personally and meet you personally. Lisa, what kind of weather do you have out there? Give me a little briefing of what your weather is like out in Ohio where we stand. For the rest of you guys who are going to be in conversation with us, we're going to give you our weather forecast. If you happen to live in the vicinity of New York City or somewhere in there. Don't worry about that. I'm going to take care of all of that local weather for you. So you guys already dodged the bullet. But for those of you who live in different parts of the country, different parts of the world, and just give us your weather forecast. I just want to compare those notes. So here we are. Lisa said it's going to be hot and muggy in Ohio. I'm not sure what part of Ohio she's from, but she's out in Ohio. I guess she'll tell us that in a few minutes. But it's going to be hot and muggy. So that being said, make sure that all of you stay hydrated as much as you can. Drink plenty of water. Stay away from caffeine. I should be talking, right? What am I talking about? Stay away from caffeine when I have some right here. Caffeine, by the way, it's a little dehydrated. It dehydrates the body too. But believe me when I tell you, when I get off the air, I'm going to hit the bottle, the water bottle, that is. I'm going to have plenty of water. But I like to have a little caffeine, just to wake me up just a little bit, just to get things going. So that's what we have so far. Excuse me again, once again. Nice and cold, just the way I like it. So anyway, the rest of you who are joining us, give us your little weather forecast and let us know. So we got hot and muggy. It's hot and muggy right here in Ohio and here in New York. We're going to tell you more about that. But I got to tell you, I got to warn you that if you're living in New York, I got to warn you that the weather is not going to be that great. We're going to have one day. We're going to have only one day of good weather. We'll tell you more about that later. We want to say, let's see, Lisa says about 48 miles from Cincinnati. That's so where she lives. She's 48 miles from Cincinnati. So we got it. Okay, that's great. Okay, we're going to give you our weather forecast, but right now we're in July, right? We're in the month of July, and it's the 11th day of July. So this is what we have going. We have summertime weather coming upon us, and whatever we're going to do in July. A lot of you have celebrated the 4th of July holiday weekend. We hope that you had a good time doing that. And of course, more holidays are coming up as we go along. And pretty soon, before you know, when the summertime is over, we're going to have a lot of good holidays coming up. We've got Thanksgiving to look forward to in November. We got Christmas and all of that. I don't want to rush it too much. Because, I want to stay in the summertime mode. That's where I do my best thinking, is in the summertime. So we got all of that going. I want to let you know that in the month of July, we are into the month of July. So what we have right now is National Blood Donor Month. That's where we are right now, National Blood Donor Month. And those of you who desire to donate any blood, feel free to do so. But we want you to do it right. We want you to make sure to contact all of the people who are able to tell you more about it than anything else. For instance, you can go to the American Red Cross. The American Red Cross will give you information along with your local blood bank. Your local blood bank will tell you more about that. They'll tell you what to do. They'll give you appointments to let you know more about that. So they'll tell you more about that. So if you want to do that, because for whatever reason, a lot of people are looking for blood and they may need yours, and you may be able to save a life. So please keep all of that in mind. So anyway, we thank you so much for being along. And just in case you just joined us, the show is called The Coffee Hour. We're now 13 minutes past the hour right now. I can't believe we've been 13 minutes into the show. And we're going to be along for the rest of the hour, up until the top of the hour. And we're going to let you know what's more happening too. Of course, we got sports coming up, as I told you. Brian Kemp is not going to be here with us. But what we're going to do, he gave us information on the sports, and we're going to read that up. We're going to recite all of that for you and let you know what's happening with that. Also, as I said later on in the program, you guys who are interested in those old movies, we told you about that already. But just as a reminder, I have those movies for you, just like I had last night. If you were watching us on Talk That Live, we had those movies that we talked about, and movies that you may be interested in your weekend. Your weekend is coming up. So that may be a good time for you to catch up on some movies. So we have all of that information. It's all coming up right here on the Coffee Hour. We really appreciate all of you. And so we want to say hello. I see some people out there watching us on Instagram right now. So we want to say hello to you guys. We know you're there, but we won't mention your names unless, of course, you don't want to, say something. because we want to give you that total respect. You don't mention people's name unless they speak to us out of total respect. And also, say hello to the people watching us on YouTube as well. I see the people out there watching us on YouTube. They're out there watching us and giving us their information. Again, if you have any aspirations of joining in our conversation, we would love you to do that. What we want you to do is give us your weather forecast, and I'm going to give you mine right now. All right. So those of you who are like in the Ohio area where Lisa is from, it's going to be hot and muggy out there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you my weather forecast. I got to tell you again, it's going to be it's not going to be that great of a weekend as far as the weather is concerned. But I think you can get by it. You always do. It's 76 degrees what we have. That's what we have at the moment. 76 degrees outdoors. And just as a precaution, let me let you know, we're looking out for a flood watch in New York City. It's going to be a flood watch in New York City. And so be prepared for that. Take out the galoshes or enough rain gear that you have. And please keep in mind that this is the way it is. Okay. So this is what we have right now. On this Friday, it's going to be showers in the morning, becoming steady rain during the afternoon hours. And we're going to have a possible thunderstorm likely. We'll have a high around 83 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 60%. For tonight, rain this evening with thunderstorms developing overnight. We'll have a low 74 degrees. Winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will be 90%. And locally heavy rainfall will develop. So that's where that rain comes in. That's why they say we have that flood watch that's in effect for New York City. Saturday, for tomorrow, Saturday, it's going to be thunderstorms in the morning, and then we'll have it will be turning partly cloudy, and so that's not bad. So turn partly cloudy, we'll have high 86 degrees, winds will be light and variable. Chance of rain will still be on the 80% side. The Saturday night, if you're going out on the time, it's going to be partly cloudy. Doesn't say anything about rain in the forecast. We'll have a low 74 degrees, winds will be light and variable. And for Sunday, the temperatures go higher once again. I don't think the minimum is going to be that much in order. It's going to be a few clouds from time to time, and then we'll have a high 91 degrees, and winds will be northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So that's what we have for our weekend. So the better day out of the weekend is going to be Sunday. And if you have aspirations of going out in the morning, you're going to be okay. It doesn't say anything about rain, but you'll have a few clouds from time to time, as they say. So please keep that in mind. And those of you again who are watching us, and I always say, I gave you my weather forecast already. I already did that already, right? I already did that. I gave you my weather forecast already. Okay, I just got word that Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He's coming on, and he'll come on in about a couple of minutes. So we'll have that coming along for you. I'm glad to see that. That makes my workload here a little bit lighter. So let's see what else is going on. We gave you the weather forecast, so all of that's in action. Again, those of you who are watching us have aspirations of following us and getting in on the action as far as the weather's concerned. We would like you to have our weather forecast. Hello to Mary Reed out there. Mary Reed from Brooklyn, New York. She's out there as well. She's watching us on Facebook, along with Lisa. She's watching us on Facebook. People are watching us there on Instagram and, of course, YouTube. So everybody's in the house. And we thank you so much for being along with us. If you're just joining us, it's 18 minutes past the hour right now. The name of the show is Coffee Hour, and we're going to be along with you for a whole entire hour. And in that hour, there's things going on. And of course, we have those movies that we'll tell you about. All of that is coming up, and we're so glad to have you aboard with us. I see out of Iceland, Thor out of Iceland is watching us, and he says to me, "Happy Friday, happy Friday to you, Thor." And he says he's going fishing. He's going fishing for 9 days as of tomorrow, and he hopes that It's gonna bless and catch a few. So hey, Thor, thank you. Fishing is big in Iceland, I understand. People who fish in Iceland is they're big fishermen out there. So Thor is going out there. He's coming from Iceland. See, he's out of the country. See, it's like I always tell you, we're all over the world. We're in Iceland. We're in Japan. We're in every place around the world, and Thor is watching us from Iceland. So thank you so much, Thor, for being along with us and watching us here on the Coffee Hour. And so there you go. We have all of that going along with us. Sports coming up in just a second from now. Get your line in for voting, and we're going to tell you more about that. If you're going to vote, I want you to do this. Do me a favor. If you're a registered voter, make sure that you have your status intact. In other words, call your local board of elections, right, and find out for sure. Make sure that you're intact, that you're still registered, your registration is still intact. I know once you registered, you're in there as long as you keep active. But you just want to make sure. I just want to make that clear to you, because a lot of people may figure out later that, their registration or something that went down. You want to make sure that's all intact. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move on. And as I said, we've got things going on for us right throughout the show. And right now, well, he was here. Brian was here. I don't know where he is now. Let's see. Let me double check on that. Let's see. Do I find him? Let's see if we find him. Yeah, he is here. He is here, as a matter of fact. He is here, as a matter of fact. Okay, there he is. Brian Camp, he's here, and he's got the latest developments in today's world of sports. And by the way, if you have any questions, sports related, ask Brian. He's got them all for you, and he's going to give you all of that information, whatever your question is. So let's welcome to the club on this Friday. Brian Camp, the latest developments in today's world of sports. Okay, Brian, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. Hope all is well. So what's new?
Oh, we got our weather forecast. We're not going to have a doozy of a weather forecast because we got a lot of rain coming in at the early part of the weekend. But on Sunday, it's going to be the best day out of the week. What is it like over there where you are?
Well, it just finished raining. It's going to rain again later on.
Okay,
it's
freezing.
I don't
know what's going on.
So,
okay, you're freezing. You're breaking up. Brian, can you hear?
I don't know what's going to happen later.
Oh, okay. There you go. No, I was saying, I think we lost each other for a minute because you were freezing and you were breaking up, and I didn't. And at one point, I didn't think you could hear me, but I think you're okay now.
Yeah, I'm in a dead zone, so probably can't talk long and everything. So, it's in and out, But yeah. So hello to everybody who's tuning in, globally, nationally, and locally. Like I said, it is. It 89 degrees going up.
Okay, it looks like it's getting worse all the time, Brian. It's getting worse all the time.
Can you hear me?
Okay, you're okay now. For the moment, you're okay now. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's to sports. This day in sports, July 12, 1928, we had the first televised tennis match. 1949, baseball owners agreed to build a warning paths before each fence. That's before field and everything. But this is what they,
Okay.
1949.
Problems here, Brian. We're having big problems here. We're having really having big problems here. So I don't know. You want to reboot and try again? I don't know.
Doing New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox games. 1989, New York Yankee pitcher Ron Guidry retires with a record of 170 wins and 91 losses. 1996, Kirby Puckett, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1998, Cy Young winner Barry Bonds retires after 12 seasons. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major League Baseball center fielder, retires after 12 seasons due to a loss of vision in his eye. 1999, Major Lea he only played 12 seasons, but he was on his way to a very great career and everything. I don't know if you heard that I just said in 1959, the NBC uses cameras to show catches signals. You know how when you see the center field camera, they're doing the signals and everything? Well, they start doing that in 1959 with the camera. Birthdays today. Happy birthday to the late Paul Silas, was born in 1943, NBA Hall of Famer, two-time NBA champ, born in Prescott, Arkansas. He is nicknamed as chairman of the board because the way how he uses tenacious rebounding and the defensive end. So he nicknamed chairman of the boards. He had that for
Okay, Brian, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't think he can hear me. Brian, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, because we're still having big problems here with your audio and your video. So yeah, you are in a dead spot, and that's probably like really dead because you're freezing up, and we're not.
Well, anyway, everybody have a great weekend. I hope everybody.
Okay, Brian, we're gonna catch you back here next week. We'll catch you back here next.
Stay cool and enjoy. Be safe.
Okay, we'll catch you back here next week. Okay, we're gonna catch him back here next week. Brian, thanks a lot. That was Brian Kemp with the latest developments in today's world of sports. He didn't do a lot of it because he's in a dead zone, and I'm not sure what happened. He's not in his usual spot or wherever he was, but he'll be back here next week. We'll catch him back here next week at some point. Maybe it'll be better, you know. Yeah, that's one of the things about being in a certain place. That's why I always say to you guys, if you're in an area where there's a lot of hot spots, right? If you have a good hot spot and Wi-Fi, you're able to, go. He was obviously in a very bad place. He was basically on the road. That's what I got. So, but I like he's in his studio and he's doing the show from there where it's much better. Anyway, he didn't get a lot of good sports here, but I think I have a few items that you may be interested in sports. Let's say, for instance, here's a good sports item. The NLB, the Major League Baseball home run derby is taking shape. Let's see. We have Major League Baseball Prime Showcase. Is set to take place next night, the night before the annual All-Star game. That's happening in Arlington, Texas. And 8 sluggers will be performing. You got 4 from the American League, 4 from the National League, and it will take place in the competition, which will differ slightly from the previous years as Major League Baseball looks to tweak the rules to make it more fan and television friendly. Ultimately, the hitters will provide fireworks as they display strength and endurance that are nearly impossible for mere mortals. In other words, they're going to look forward to those big hits. And in other sports, we have DeMar DeRozan is indeed head of his native California. He's headed out there to his native of California, Los Angeles. Sacramento Kings agreed with Russia to sign to a $73.7 million sign and trade deal that will see Harrison Barnes sent over to San Antonio Spurs and Tristan Durant two-time round picks and cash will be sent to the Chicago Bulls. Durant himself provides some measure of confirmation not sooner than appearing in the person of Sacramento's Golden One Center. Now, the Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott said on Tuesday that there is absolutely nothing wrong with his surgically repaired ankle after photos surfaced of him wearing a walking boot while on vacation in Mexico. And speaking at the annual football camp, the soon-to-be 31-year-old Prescott said he's getting older and has to take care of his body. That makes a lot of sense. With some weeks left under the Olympic break, the NBA, the WNBA action isn't slowing down. Last week, Kate Clark notched her first triple-double, and this week the league's top two teams will battle for the second time this season. And meanwhile, injuries are starting to take a toll on the teams across the standings. John Cena is ready to say goodbye to the sport that made him a star. The wrestler turned actor announced during World Wrestling Entertainment Monday on let's see, it was on Monday, Money in the Bank event, that Money in the Bank event, that he'll be retiring the WWE next year. Cena is 47 years old and he's a six-time WWE World Champion. And this announcement was meant or met a lot of boos from the audience when he made the announcement. But Cena said that he plans to do between 30 to 40 dates through 2025 towards the end of his career. Okay, so that's it in sports. I gave you that much in sports. What Brian couldn't give you, I gave you there a little bit. I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully next week when Brian comes back, he'll be in his regular habitat and in the studio where the Wi-Fi is much better. So we beg your forgiveness for all the breakups and the technical difficulties that goes around here. We're having a lot of them today. So we want to make sure that everybody can bear with us. That would be great if you could. Okay, if you're just joining us, the name of the show is called The Coffee Hour, and we're along with you for this Friday. And of course, we will be here for the balance of the hour. I just want to make sure that all of you know that you can tell your family and friends about us. As a matter of fact, let me repeat once again, for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, take the opportunity to tag all of your friends, if not all of your friends, at least some of your friends, and let them know that we're out here and they can be part of us too. And they can get on their computers and they can talk to us the same way that you're doing. And those of you who are watching us on Facebook, I always, and can't do it enough, encourage you to go onto our Facebook page and subscribe to us by dragging your mouse over, pointing the arrow where it says subscribe, click onto it, and that will be it. And for the rest of you who are watching us on Instagram, all you have to do is just keep telling your friends about us, keep the word going, keep the word percolating, and let your family and friends know about what's happening with that. We also enjoy the fact that all of you are out there, so we want to say hello to all of you who are coming in. We've got people from all over the place who are watching us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube as well. So we get things going. And listen, Thor, if you're still out there from Iceland, what's your weather out there like? Because I know here in New York, we're not going to have such good weather over the weekend, except we got one day, which is Sunday, the end of the weekend. My favorite day of the week is Saturday. But I'm interested in seeing, because he's from a different land. He's in Iceland. So I want to know what the weather is like out in Iceland, if you're still there, Thor. If you're still there, hopefully he can come up with some kind of information. Unless he already went fishing. He probably already went fishing. Who knows? Anyway, hopefully we'll get that back to that situation. Anyway, for those of you who want to, the rest of you want to join in conversation, please give us your weather forecast as well. It doesn't have to be a full-blown weather forecast as I gave you mine, but give us some kind of hint on what your weather will be like over the weekend, and we'll see what's happening with that. And so there you have it. It's all right there. all right there. And so we thank you again for being along with us for a total great amount of great things that are happening with us. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, again, while I shoot up. I gotta have a little coffee on the horizon. That kind of cools things off a little bit, but you know, after the show is over, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back, go and get plenty of water, because I know that, of course, you already know that if you're a coffee drinker, it dehydrates. Alcohol is a no-no. You know, some of you may not even listen to a word I said on that part, but alcohol is a no-no in hot weather. You know, you don't want to do that, and you want to eat a lot of fruits. Right, because fruits contain a lot of water, and of course that's good for the body as well. But try to stay away from the alcohol. I know a lot of people say, I want to sit back, watch a movie, have a couple of beers. You know, I want to have a couple of beers. No, do it with caution. Do it with caution. Whatever it is, do it with caution. But you don't want to be outdoors doing that. What you want to do, if you have to do that, please at least be in a nice air-conditioned place. You know. Like, let's say, for instance, if you're going to a bar where the air conditioning is really, high, have a couple of beers in the bar. But, for the most part, you want to stay away from that. Don't do any strenuous activities as well. In other words, don't go out and exercise, overdo it, exercise, like for me, and for me, right, I haven't gone to the gym all week long because of the heat wave. And now that the heat is kind of breaking, I still wanted to give it that much grace time not to involve myself in activities. So I'm going to wait until Monday, when Monday returns, and then go back to the gym. But for the time being right now, I just want to just relax. And of course, I want to urge all of you guys to do the same thing. Okay. We've got entertainment news coming your way. We're going to give it to you a little earlier. Because we were short on time with the sports, and we had very little sports today. But we'll give you this entertainment that I have for you coming around. We want to tell you about that in the news and entertainment news right now. Hollywood is mourning the loss of John Landau. John Landau, he's an Oscar-winning producer and a James Cameron collaborator. Behind some of the biggest blockbusters in movie history. Landau produced films including Aviator, Titanic, died in Los Angeles last Friday. The cause of death was not known or not provided. He was 63 years old. Actress Shelley Duvall has died. She's the actress who starred in The Shining opposite Jack Nicholson. She died Thursday at her home in Blanco, Texas. And she died from complications of diabetes. She was born July 7, 1949 in Fort Worth, Texas. She considered pursuing a career in science before she was discovered by crew members of the director of Robert Altman 1970 film Brewster McCloud, which she appeared in as well, at a party in Houston where Shelley's then fiance Bernard Sampson was displaying artwork. Duvall was 75 years old. Skydance Media, and this is a very important thing to do. They talked about it all week. Skydance Media and Paramount Global agreed to merge. The companies announced last Sunday, scripting a new character for the Hollywood's oldest studios. The companies agreed to do a two-step process in which Skydance and its deal partners will acquire not assumptions or amusement, which holds the Redstone families according or controlling stake in Paramount for $2.4 billion in cash, and Skydance will subsequently merge with Paramount, offering $4.5 billion in cash or stock and shareholders, and providing additional $1.5 billion for Paramount's balance sheet and in shares for CBS, the broadcast network owner, rose to 4% in trading before the bell. Janet Jackson brought the house down at the 2024 Essence Festival for Culture. The Academy Award, the Academy winner, the Grammy winner, turned the Big Easy into Rhythm Nation with the let's see, the passionate performer for the final day of the 30th of the Essence Festival of the Culture in New Orleans. And she kicked off a highly anticipated performance with No Sleep and Got Till It's Gone. And to the record-breaking crowd, what she did a lot of songs. Her set list featured some of the classic songs, including All For You, If, Escapades, and Anytime, Any Place, and I Get Lonely. Winona Judd has the perfect celebration in mind to commemorate the milestone year of the performing, which she's performing live. On Monday, the country music singer announced that she's returning to the Venetian Theater in Las Vegas, and December, after 9 years of salute to her dynamic career, and more importantly, honor for the 40th anniversary as a live entertainer with trios of greatest hits shows. And her upcoming shows are scheduled for December 11th, 13th, 14th, and tickets go on sale on Friday. And in some cases, that's today where we are. Today is Friday. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet are officially divorced. Our Los Angeles County divorce dissolution of the marriage of the two actors, who had already been separated for years, took effect on Tuesday. Bonet and Momoa were married for more than 7 years and were a couple for 12 years before they wed. Bonet filed for divorce in January, and the documents listed that the couple's separation date is October 20th, 2022, or make that 2020, more than 3 years earlier. And they made their separation public in 2002. So that's just an entertainment. Now, the birthdays in entertainment, talk show host, actress Rolanda Watts is 65 years old today. Actress Cheryl Ladd is 73. Exercise guru Simmons, that's Richard Simmons, is 76 years old today. The late Jay Thomas, who is an actor and a disc jockey, was 76. He would have been 76 years old today. Actress Denise Nichols is 80 years old today. The late Christine McVie, formerly the member of Fleetwood Mac, would have been 81 years old today. Bill Cosby is 87. The late Curly Joe DeRita, he was one of the Three Stooges back then. He would have been 115 years old, and comedian Milton Berle would have been 116 years old. So there you have it. All of that going down in entertainment. And of course, we're so glad to have you along. And happy birthday to all of those people who are celebrating in entertainment. And happy birthday to you too, if you're celebrating a birthday today. Lisa told me last night she's celebrating a birthday on the 20th. So again, we'll wish her a happy birthday once again. And those of you who are celebrating a birthday, if you'd like me to announce your birthday on the air, if you don't want to do it yourself, you can get in touch with me. I have two sources, by the way, how you can do that. And one of the sources is that you can email me or you can call me. All right, one or the other, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to give you my email address first. My email address is Frank Allan, that's Allan, a very important detail because you can spell Allan different ways, but this way is Allan. You want to make sure you get the email right in there. Frank Allan Prod, Prod is Prod, that's short for productions. Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. That's Frank Allan Prod at AOL.com. Or you can call us at 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. And you can use that information anytime you want, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You can leave a message on the call, or you could email whatever it is and let us know that you're out there. And you may be emailing us for different reasons. For instance, like I said, you could have your birthday announced with us right here. and just give us advance notice, and we'll do that for you. Or let's say, for instance, you want to talk about this show, have any questions about the show or the people behind the show, or maybe you want to critique the show, which is fine with me because, of course, we learn a lot from you when you tell us what you actually think. Or, of course, if you have any ideas about the show that you think we should implement into the show to make it exciting or make it interesting. And if you say that, then and if you think that way, that means maybe we're not interesting enough. So we want to be more interesting. That's why we have you out there. That's exactly why we have you out there. So you could give us your opinion about that. But anyway, nevertheless, whatever the reason is, you want to get in contact with us, call us or email us anytime. We'll pick it up and we'll read it, and we'd love to hear from you. Even if you just want to say hi and no more, that's okay too. We would love to hear from you just the same. All right. So let me give you that email address once again. That email address again is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number once again is 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467-134. We talked about earlier in this program about voting, and I think it's a good idea if you did what I asked you to do or what I suggested that you should do. Even though you may be a registered voter for whatever party you're voting or registered with, make sure you double check that. Double check that. Please double check that. Mistakes could happen. A lot of things can happen, and you don't want to miss out on these events. So what I suggest that you do is go to your board of elections, your local board of election, and call them up and find out if your status is still there, if your registration status is still intact. This way, you can get an opportunity to vote come November, because if you're not registered, you can't vote, So make sure that you double check on that. I do it each week, each year, even though I know it's no change, but I just want to make sure. Maybe it's my paranoid. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just do it. No, it doesn't even have to be that. It's just a matter of double checking on everything that you do these days, because people do make mistakes and things happen, and you don't want it to happen to you. So do that. Now, locally, I can tell you locally, if you're in New York City, we have the board of directions. I have an address that you can check out. It's 200 Varick Street. It's on the 10th floor. You can go there or you can call them as well. And I'll also give you the telephone number. The telephone number is 212-886-2100. That's 212-886-2100. Call them. That's local New York. I just happen to have that information. But for the rest of you, go to your local, and you can do that. That's very easy to find. All you have to do is just Google it, find out where it is, and then just call them up or visit them, and just make sure that your status, your voting status is there, your registration status is intact, and this way you can vote. I always do it. I always do that this time of the season. So when that season come around. So that being said, you already know that we have 116 days left before that big day, that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day. 116 days left. Where is the time going? That's not a lot of days left. 116 days, that's short of 4 months, a little bit short of 4 months. Okay? And before you know, it will be here. That's November 5th. That's the voting day. And of course, you already know we're voting this time around for President of the United States. That's what we're voting for. And you have only 2 people to vote for. And of course, you already heard in the news. Of course, a lot of you have heard about it and still hearing about it today, about they're trying to get President Biden to step aside and let someone else come in. And of course, last night he did I didn't get a chance to see it last night because I was on the air last night. I saw spurts of a little bit of it before I got on the air, but then it went on and on, and I didn't get a chance to see it. I didn't even get a chance to hear the actual highlights later on. But I found out later that he didn't do a bad job on answering the questions to some people. There was certain parts where he got a little lost, but then we all get a little lost sometimes when we do things like these, because you're trying to concentrate on a lot of things, especially when you do a show like this. You're concentrating on a lot of things. I'm trying to get things moving here on the show here. And of course, talk to you at the same time. So there's a lot of things involved. This place is very involved, but you get used to it and you work out and you try not to pop a sweat when it happens, right? Anyway, so, you hear about the situations about Joe Biden. They're trying to get rid of him. The Democratic Party, the big wigs in the Democratic Party, and a lot of them, they're closing their checkbooks for right now for endorsement for him because they're not sure that he can do the job. There are polls, which I don't even follow polls. I don't believe in polls. I don't follow polls. The only thing that I follow is the end results of what's going to happen. And what's going to happen, the end result is you people, the American people, casting their lines for votes and voting for hopefully the right person that you need to get in there that's going to make this country a better country for everyone, whether you're a Republican, Democrat, liberal, or whatever it is, whatever you are, it doesn't matter. All right, because we already know that the other side right now has no intentions of taking care of Democrats. It's always Republicans, but I'm even sure that the Republicans, and I'm talking about the mainstream Republicans, the real Republicans are going to be taken care of either, unless of course you're rich, you have a lot of this in your pocket, of course, maybe that's the deal, but, I think at this particular point, they're talking about his old age. Now we know that Joe Biden is old. Hell, I'm old. But we do the best we can. At a certain age, when you get to be a certain age, you don't think as quick as you do. You don't walk as quick as you do. You don't do a lot of things like you used to do. But you do the best you can. And I'm pretty sure that Joe Biden is doing the best he can. Now, they're doing the focusing. The focusing is on his ability to do interviews or his ability to do what he did last night, do a press conference. And this didn't come about until when they had that debate between Donald Trump more and Joe Biden. When they had that debate, of course, it was a terrible debate, and not with just Joe Biden. Donald Trump more did a lousy job as well, so they both didn't do a good job in that debate. There's another debate coming up in September. We just have to see how that runs. Hopefully, it'll be a better debate for right now. But they still focus on Joe Biden's delivery. They focus on, his speech, whether he stumbled over words or not. But let me ask you a question. No one ever says anything about it. While they're focusing on all of that, why aren't they focusing on Donald Trump more with his deranged, over-the-top speeches, talk about batteries and talk about Hannibal and the talk about sharks and things like that, which have nothing to do with anything at all. It's so incoherent. He slurs his speech like I do, like Biden does, like you do. Everybody slurs their speech, but no one seems to want to focus on that. What I want to see, and this is only my opinion, this is only me talking to. What I want to see focus on, I want to see them focus on what the work that Biden did and not, his speech pattern or anything like that. I want to focus on that. I want to focus on winning this election. So therefore, all of us who enjoy all of the things that we're enjoying today can continue to enjoy it and not be under the thumb of some dictator or a wannabe dictator, who promises to be a dictator on day one. Because if you're going to be a dictator on day one, you're going to be a dictator on day two as well, And so, ladies and gentlemen, making sure that you're intact to vote. And when that day comes around, 116 days from now, when it's time to get into that booth and cast your line, cast your ballot for voting. And I hope that you do vote for the right person. You know, think about when you vote, why am I voting for this person? This person is going to take away my Social Security. A lot of you guys who are watching me now are on Social Security. You have a risk of losing that. Oh yeah, you heard about it, right? If you didn't hear about it, I'm telling you now, you have a risk of losing your Social Security. Money that you earn, money that you toil and sweat all of your life. And in your golden and your retirement years, you are getting it now, but it's a possibility they're going to take that away. And that's something that you earned. All right. Think about that. Think about you women who will lose your right to a healthy lifestyle if you have to get an abortion that will possibly, you know, have an effect on your life or your baby's life, and you need that abortion, you won't be able to get it. In New York right now, it's okay, but they're not finished. They want to make sure this is a nationwide thing. They don't want anyone doing any abortions, no abortions at all. You know, they would rather for you to die. Those of you who are Democrats, you're not going to be in the loop of this. And I want to say to the MAGA Republicans, don't think for one moment, just because you're a MAGA Republican and you're backing this side, don't think in the end that you're going to get anything out of this either. You know, because there's only one person that thinks about one person, and that one person only thinks about himself. They don't give a damn about you. And you MAGA Republicans, you buy it. You suck it up. It's okay. It's okay that my wife doesn't get an abortion. If that has to happen, if your daughter was under that situation, your daughter under that situation where she has to get an abortion because it will affect her life, she might die or a baby might die, you can't get it. Think about that. Think about all of those things when you go out and vote. All right, let me get off the soapbox right now and get on the movie box, because I have some movies that, of course, I think you guys are going to like. I only have 2 this week. And these movies are my picks of the week. Of course, they come along, and we hope that you'll get a chance to watch them. They're my picks of the week for your weekend, because the weekend is coming up, and a lot of you may want to be doing a lot of things. And one of the things that you may want to do is catch up on some old movies, right? So I have a couple that I want to convey to you right now. Let's go back to 1948. This is a black and white movie. It's a classic movie. I love Humphrey Bogart. If you love him, you'll love this movie called Key Largo. And along with Humphrey Bogart, you have Edward G. Robinson and Humphrey's wife, Lauren Bacall. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. And that's Saturday at 4:15 p.m. Eastern. Okay, all of the times I'm giving you is Eastern time. And that's called Key Largo. I have one more, but this is not a movie. This is actually a documentary. And it's not a classic. It's not a black and white or anything like that. The classic that you look at. As a matter of fact, it only goes back. This documentary was done in 2021, and it was directed by Lisa Hirschman. Lisa Hurwitz. I'm sorry, Hurwitz. Lisa Hurwitz directed this. It's called The Automat. Now, you remember the days of the automat, right? The automat, those of you especially living in New York City, we had automats all over the place, right? And that was a place where you can go in. It's like a restaurant. And all you have to do is, back in those days, you used to throw a nickel or a dime in there in the machine, and you can get yourself a lemon pie or a hot meal or something like that, depending on the food. The amount varied. All you have to do is just drop it in, open the door, and grab it, you know. And they had people in there working in there, but those are the people who were preparing the meals and putting in the bins, so that when you see it, you get a turkey sandwich or something hot. You just drop it in there, you open the door, you drop the coin in there, open the door, and you got yourself a nice turkey sandwich or a hot meal, or maybe even a nice lemon pie or any kind of pie that suits your fancy. Anyway, it's a documentary reminding people and bringing back the memory of the automat. So that's coming up on Sunday at 8:15 a.m. If you don't want to wake up that early, please pre-record it, DVR it, and watch it later at your own convenience. Same thing for Keylogger too. You can do that. All right. But this automatic is good. I saw the automatic before. I think you're gonna like it. It brings back a lot of memories for those of you who are baby boomers and way beyond that. You like it. You like the memory of it all and the history of it all. So let me go back once again. It's Key Largo. Humphrey Bogart, Edward G. Robinson, Lauren Bacall. That's Saturday at 4:15 p.m. Eastern, and then the automatic directed by Lisa Hurwitz, and that's Sunday at 8:15 a.m. Eastern, right there on Turner Classic Movies. That's going to end it for me. My time has come up. And of course, my weekend is officially underway. So with that, I want to ask you to join me next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And that's Talk Back Live. Brian Camp will be with me with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And I hope that you will be here too. And then after that, meet me back here next Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern for more of the Coffee Hour with Brian Camp. Of course, with sports, and all of you guys, Mary, Thor, Lisa, all of you guys watching, we thank you so much for being with us. Make sure that you have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend, and I'll catch you soon. Take care.
You've been watching the Coffee Hour with your host Frank Allen. The producer has been Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the Coffee Hour.